And speaking of gratitude,
Well, that's where that was going.
did you catch my drift there?
I did now.
I love the idea, you know, they have all of these happy birthday pennant banners. So I thought, well, why not for Thanksgiving or any time of the year, go ahead and create a no-so gratitude banner.
And again, you can use any word.
I am using the Aleene's Peel and Stick sheets and the Aleene's Peel and Stick tape to create my banner. The first step is to cut your fabric into ribbon lengths. And I just use my scissors to snip at the end and then tear the fabric, which gives me a really nice edge. This gives you a bit more of a rustic edge to your fabric. Be sure and just pull off any of the extra threads that are left behind when you tear your fabric. To create the ribbon, I want to overlap my ends. So for that step, I am going to use my Aleene's Peel and Stick tape. Press it down, press firmly to be sure that the adhesive sticks to the fabric. I like to fuse it in the corner, pop it up from the back. If that paper doesn't pop up, it means that your adhesive is not fused. As soon as it's fused, it'll pop right up. Layer your ribbon. And that's going to give me the length that I want for my banner. For the actual pennants, I cut my fabric, and I'm using a half size of the Aleene's Peel and Stick sheet. So these come 4 1/4 by 5 inches. So you want to cut them in half. And that just optimizes the size to get more of the pennants out of one package. Working on the wrong side of my fabric, I want to release the paper, press adhesive side down to the wrong side of my fabric, and once again give that a good press all the way around, and then I cut this piece right up to the edge of the peel and stick sheet. And once that is cut, I'm ready to adhere that on to the second piece of fabric. I like to layer 2 pieces of fabric, gives a little bit more body to the pennant. When you're working with your peel and stick sheets, just expose a little bit of adhesive at a time. It's very, very sticky. So you'll find that it's much easier to use if you only pull off a little bit of a paper at a time, and then when you're ready to just keep moving down and fusing those together. So now I am cutting the second piece of fabric to the same shape and size as the first. So now I have the 2 pieces fused together, fold them in half, cut from corner to corner, and I have my pennant. Save those other 2 pieces. I'm sure there's lots of cool projects that you can use those on. Once you have all of your pennant pieces cut, you can decide how many letters that you want on your banner, and be sure and cut enough of these pennant pieces to spell out your word. Now it's time to go ahead and glue those on to your ribbon, or the fabric ribbon as in this case. What I like to do when I'm using the peel and stick tape is to cut it into about 3-inch lengths. You will find that it's much easier to work with that way, especially when it comes time to release the paper and turn your fabric over. It's a lot easier because that glue is so sticky, if you're working with large open adhesive at a time, it can tend to stick back into the fabric where you don't want it. So I would continue to add my peel and stick tape all the way along the length of my ribbon. Let's put one more piece here so we can work in both directions. Alright, so I find the center of my ribbon, and what I want to do is glue down my first pennant. So I'm going to fuse the corner, make sure that paper pops up, then I know that the peel and stick sheet or roll or tape, whatever I'm using, is stuck down. I'm going to lay this pennant down into the glue and get it exactly where I want. You'll notice that I didn't take all the paper off yet, but I do want to get this edge down, so I'm ready to stick that down, but I leave the rest of the paper on. It's going to make it a lot easier as you're trying to continue to work with this. Peel this back, get that edge down. Alright, that looks good. So now I'm ready to reveal my next adhesive. Try and keep your fingers out of it. That's not always easy to do when you're working on these, but you don't want to get your finger stuck in it because sometimes that can pull that right back up. So you can see how I've left a space in between. You can space these pennants out as wide as you'd like to. What you are going to need to do now, because you've covered up part of this glue here, and I want to be sure that this edge stays down securely, is I'm going to add more tape along the top edge. There's my finger sticking in that glue. Put another piece down, and again, just keep working a section at a time. So I'm going to peel this back here and just give you an idea of how this works. Fusing it down, pulling it back, fuse the corner, pull it back. Then you're ready to fold this down and line it up, and that stays in place. So continue to work to add your peel and stick tape along the bottom edge, add your pennant pieces, and continue to glue this down until you have your entire pennant completed. Then it's really quick and easy to add your lettering. I like to use the foam shapes that I can just press down right over my fabric to create my greeting. That is how quick and easy it is to create your gratitude banner. So I hope that I have encouraged all of you who don't sew to create your own gratitude banner.
Well, you know, even though you do sew, this is so easy to put together that but you don't need to get out the sewing machine. Just put it together really quickly.
I can't imagine you not getting out your sewing machine.
I would not for this. Trust me, it would be so much easier like you did it to glue it. I would not get my sewing machine out for it.
As Mama Aleene says, if you can't glue it, don't do it.